In this video, we're going to show you how to replace a front axle on your Subaru Outback. This will be located behind the front wheel. Let's get started. Using a 19mm socket, remove the 5 lug nuts. Remove the wheel. Using a 32mm socket, we're going to remove the axle nut. Push on the end, make sure it slides freely in the splines. Using a 12mm socket, remove the bolt for the brake line bracket. Pull the line out of the bracket. Using a pair of pliers, we're going to bend the cotter pin down for the lower ball joint. Remove the cotter pin. Using a 19mm socket, remove the lower ball joint nut. Hit the control arm on either face and try and pop the ball joint out. Using a large pry bar with a hook, we're going to put our hook over the control arm, pull down. As we pull down, we're going to pull our knuckle assembly forward. Pull the axle out of the hub. Get a collection bucket under you before you pop the axle out. You may have fluid come down. Using a pry bar, we're going to get right on the side of the axle, and in one swift motion we're going to give it a good pop, and it'll pop out of the transmission. Remove the axle. Take a look at your axle seal. Run your finger around, make sure there's no rips or tears. Ours looks good, so we're going to reuse it. If you find a rip or tear, it's a good idea to replace it now. Install the axle into the vehicle. Get it lined up with the splines. When you have everything lined up, you can use a large soft face hammer on the end of the half shaft, or once you have it mostly installed, you have a little bit of wiggle room. Pull back slightly and click it into the transmission. Remove the axle nut off of the axle. Install it into the hub. Pull the control arm down. Line up the ball joint stud. Let go of the tension on the control arm. Install the ball joint nut. Snug it down. Torque the ball joint nut to 30 foot-pounds. And then up to an additional 60 degrees, or until you can fit a cotter pin through the slot in the nut and the hole in the stud. Install a cotter pin. Bend the ends around. And bend the other tail the other way. Chop the tails off. Install the brake line into the bracket. Get the bolt started. Snug the bolt down. Install the axle nut. Snug it down. Torque the axle nut to 162 foot-pounds. We're going to use a pry bar to hold the studs. Using a punch, we're going to stake the axle nut into the slot. Install the wheel. Get the lug nuts started. Snug them down. Torque the wheels to 90 foot-pounds in a star pattern. And you're good to go.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.